Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about Shadowhunters, episode 203, titled Parabatai Lost, which premiered Monday, January 16th, 2017, on Freeform. I watched it on Netflix, so I'm super excited to talk about it. But before we get into that, guys, huge spoiler alert. I'm really hoping you saw the episode before you're checking out this video. Even though I'm trying not to summarize everything, hoping you've seen it, so at least you know whereabouts I'm coming from with my thoughts and all that. And another thing for the reminders, I only own any thoughts, theories, predictions I make in this video, which are all derived from what I see on the show. Another spoiler alert for the fact that I've read up the first 3 books of the Mortal Instruments, so City of Bones, City of Ash, City of Glass. Kind of make comments from time to time. It's been a while since I've read those books, though, so sometimes a similarity might pop up. So in those videos, just a spoiler alert about those types of comments as well. Also, I'm recording this the same night that I watched episode for the first time. So since it is the 17th for me, you are really getting my genuine reactions about the episode before I speak about it to anybody else. So there's that. Also, this is being made for fun. There's no money being made out of this video. It's just a great way to share my thoughts and theories and observations with fellow fans of the show, with you guys, such like this. So that's what it is, guys. So I'm going to try to do this in about 10 minutes, so since it's the one episode, but let's start the timer, and let's begin with, I guess you can kind of say this segment could be either tidbits or what you could come away with this episode with. I need a new title for that, though. But anyways, so the new credit sequence, again, I mentioned it in the previous video, but I was watching it again for this one, and to me, it looks like Clary's hair is a darker shade of red. I'm just wondering if anyone else noticed that, or if that's just the lighting of the whole sequence itself, though. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. I thought that was pretty cool. It definitely seemed to fit more, I guess you could say, because I know in the actual show, her hair is a little bit more of a lighter red than I would have thought. So there's that. So timeline-wise for this episode, Clary returns to the Institute roughly 3 hours after she escaped from the tanker ship. Victor made the comment on the fact that it has been 3 hours since they were able to find Valentine's tanker ship abandoned. So 3 hours, why did it take Clary that long to get back to the Institute? It took her that long to try to find Jace, before she even thought of going back to the Institute. So that's why. Episode reminder, though, for this episode is pretty much focused around saving Alec. And the way they explained it was the fact that while Alec was trying to find Jace through the Parabatai bond, a part of his soul kind of got lost in the search. So while Jace is still able to walk around, Alec is kind of lost in limbo until his Parabatai can come back to him and reunite that lost piece of Alec's soul to him, pretty much. So episode-wise, breakdown of it comes down to this. We get flashbacks between Jace and Alec. We got a few of them. We got one when they first met, and this one gives off the impression that Jace is older than Alec. Second one shows the two of them in their teen years undergoing the last test they need to kind of prove that they're ready to take on the Parabatai ceremony. So there's that. Third one is Alec actually showing doubts with Isabel, who appears younger than Alec, about going through with the whole Parabatai ceremony. And this is where she realizes that Alec is in love with Jace. So it seems like for a while now, Alec has had those feelings for Jace. Another flashback shows Alec being late to the Parabatai ceremony. And then the last flashback is of Alec and Jace actually going through with the Parabatai ceremony, with the ritual oath being shared between the two of them. Second storyline, you can kind of bring it back to the present day, where the mission is to try to reunite Alec with Jace. Jace needs to come back so they could bring Alec back from this limbo state he's in. Unfortunately, you have Jace having many run-ins with the werewolves who want him dead, and then you have, after they reunite, you have Jace trying to recite the Parabatai oath to bring Alec back. side storyline as well, we get Raphael returning with more demands from Simon to find Camille, though Simon is more worried about his mother, who has left many worried messages about him. We find out that Simon's mother also used to be an alcoholic shortly after his father had died, so Simon's kind of worried that she's back on a bender again. Character-wise, though, we are introduced to Maia Roberts. She's a werewolf that is part of Luke's pack. Not only are we introduced to her in this episode, but we actually see her transform into a werewolf on screen. I don't think we've actually seen that happen yet. Every time I remember in season 1 of a werewolf transformation, it's always been off screen, or it's always been through shadows. I think we saw Luke transform into a werewolf form while we see him hidden, but we see the transformation happen through a shadow of him shown on a wall. So I think this time we actually see the whole process of what happens to that person's body. So the weird the weird bending of the joints, what gets extended, what gets arched, all that crazy transformation stuff for a werewolf. All that. Every time I see the actual human get transformed into an animal like that, that always creeps me out for some reason. But it was really well done, though, for sure. And that's a great first impression about her, for sure. We also see Raphael again. And this time, he's actually posing as Simon's band manager to kind of get Simon's mom off of Simon's back for not being home as often. And again, we see Elaine Lewis, which is Simon's mom. So it's great to see her again and kind of get pulled in without realizing it. So there's that. Based off runes, though, we did actually get to see the Parabatai rune. It's always been mentioned, but we actually got to see it in the flashback. During the whole ceremony, it actually is glowing underneath Alec's shirt, and it's on his left side of his torso during the whole oath part. So that was cool. Also, another possible one, is a tracking rune. Isabel mentioned it that Jace must have activated a tracking rune, or he must have deactivated his tracking rune. Something was blocking the Shadowhunters' ability to track him. So she mentioned something along those lines. We don't actually see it, though, so it was just mentioned. So last moments of the episode was Jace being arrested by Victor Aldertree shortly after bringing Alec back from the brink of death, and Jace is actually being taken to the City of Bones for trial. So some facts, though, guys, that were revealed in this episode was Luke's description of Jace was him being in his early 20s. So that was interesting, and to hear that, because we don't have an actual age for any of the Shadowhunters. We only know that Clary and Simon are 18. So that's the only indicator for us. We also learned that Magnus has wiped Clary's memory for the last 12 years. So Jocelyn owns a 12-year debt towards Magnus. And we also, well, I guess we're made aware that Elaine calls Simon Monkey a lot. So there's that. Moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode, I think it has to be the fact that Alec was initially having doubts about becoming Jace's Parabatai. I was not expecting that. I thought it was something that, like, they were going into full force. They wanted to do it 100%. I never realized that he actually had doubts so close to I guess you could say, the deadline. But it was really interesting to see those flashbacks to get a deeper understanding of what the Parabatai bond could truly mean for the two Shadowhunters. So there's that. So top 3 favorite moments of the episode. First one has to be Alec reciting the Parabatai oath to Jace, which was basically the first sign we see of Alec being alive. It was pretty much in the moment of having him in his dying embrace. When Alec recited those words, you have Jace holding on very tightly to Alec, begging him not to leave him. You have Clary and Magnus holding hands with each other just as Alec was saying those whispered words, and they're like looking in awe, and Glee's like, yes, he's alive. So it was really great, that subtle move of comfort right there. I noticed it. I was like, oh my god, was that like planned? Was that scripted or anything? Or is that just like in the moment thing that the Kat and Harry decided to do while they were in the moment as Jason, as Clary and Magnus. So that was great too. And then just seeing Isabel being all choked up over the fact that her brother was actually alive after being such a close call. I really love that scene. It was a very emotional scene. It's like, even though Alec is like one of the main characters, to have him be in that situation so early on in the season as it is, you kind of where it's like, no, he can't be dead. It's like, you can't, plus also with the whole books and everything, but like, it was very surprising, and I really don't remember a close call like that happening between in the first 3 books. Then again, I did watch the City of Bones movie just 2 days ago, and Alec was kind of in a similar life or death situation, so I'm not sure if that's meant to kind of be similar to that though, but that was pretty cool though. I definitely like that emotional scene that we got from that. Plus, it definitely truly showed I guess previously we already knew how important the Parabatai bond was between Alec and Jace, but just to see how far it could go was something else. Another favorite moment for me has to be Magnus using magic against Raj, the Shadowhunter. I was like, yes, it was about time. Because even Raj mentioned it, that Magnus was, like, really old. So, like, Magnus is what, about 600 years old or something? He's titled the High Warlock or Bricklet. He has to have that reputation for a reason. And the fact, so far in this episode, you kind of see a lot of Shadowhunters pushing Magnus aside, or, like, not giving him the respect he deserves. Because, I mean, he hasn't lived for 600 years for no reason. He's managed to somehow survive that long, managed to gain the reputation, managed to get all the knowledge he has for it, and, like, you should be treating him with respect. He's, like, technically he's an elder to you guys. But instead, they're just brushing him off as if he's, like, scum from the earth. But it was great to see Magnus retaliate by using his magic, so I was just waiting for that. It's like, do something already. And then he did. I was like, yes. Thankfully, he didn't kill the guy, but, like, still, it's just great to see Magnus get that moment, even though it might kick him in the butt later on. So there's that. Timer went off though, but I'll be very quick about it, guys. Though, last favorite moment I liked was the fact that Clary went to help Simon out when he was trying to find his mom. I really liked that not only that Simon called Clary, but the fact that Clary was able to help Simon. Even though it was a tight situation, they were worrying about Alec finding Jace before the werewolves find him, and then trying to get Jace to Alec to save him. It was just great that Clary was able to still drop everything and help Simon out, since he's been her friend for so long. So there's that. Moving on, top 3 peeved moments. I didn't like the fact that Simon didn't get a chance to tell his mom the vampire truth. He's psyching himself up, getting himself ready to tell her this new norm for him, and yet Raphael blocks that chance. Kind of, I don't know what word to use. He kind of changes the plan for him, and it was kind of disappointing because I really wanted to know what Elaine would. I want to know how she would react to the vampire truth. So there's that. Another thing I didn't like about the episode was the fact that Victor Aldertree interrupted Alec's quick reunion with Jace. Just when he was registering the fact that he was alive and that Jace was actually with him, Aldertree comes in and arrests Jace. So that was disappointing as well. But moving on, what will I remember most or look back on this episode? The fact that we got to learn more about the Parabatai bond. We actually got to see the flashbacks, which is kind of cute, just to see them growing up at different stages. And then just to see what that bond really means, or how far that bond could go between the two of them, was really great. So random questions. Can't really think of any at the moment, so let's just move on to predictions. Based off the promo for 204, it looks like Valentine gives Jace his options, either being a Clave prisoner like Hodge, who's in a cell beside him, or he returns as a warrior by Valentine's side. Don't know how in the world Valentine managed to get in the holding area, but we see that. Also, we see, or we hear about demons being inside the Institute. There's a possible kiss between Luke and Jocelyn. It was kind of a quick scene change, but it kind of looks like them. based off the silhouette, so there's that. And it also shows Alec's hands being all bloody as he questions what he's done within the Institute walls. So that's a little tricky. Based off the synopsis, though, it reads that Clary struggles with a new order among the Shadowhunters. It looks like Jace is being held at the City of Bones to await his trial. It looks like a new kind of demon is introduced as it puts the Institute on high alert. Apparently Jocelyn has a proposition for Clary, and it looks like Simon and Raphael continue to search for Camille. Based off the previews that have been released for 204, one of them shows Alec thanking Magnus for helping to save him, which then leads them to talk about their first date plans, only for it to be postponed with a rain check due to the new demon troubles that arise. Another clip shows Lydia and Isabel returning to the Institute with a dead body, and none of them being aware of the fact that that dead body was a vessel of some sort of smoky creature thingy. So it's possible that's a demon that we're going to deal with, but we're just going to have to wait and see until next week. I have no questions from that, though, but I guess the only question is how the hell Valentine managed to get to Jace while he's in lockup. So there's that. But yeah. So what'd you guys think of the episode? What'd you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about your own thoughts, theories, and predictions about all that good stuff. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, guys, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, all that good stuff. I try to be up to date as best I can, but the links for those are down below, as well as the master list for the tags as well. And also, it's attached to my WordPress page, so if you want to follow me there, go right ahead. But everything I post online is attached to my WordPress page, which is connected to my Tumblr page. I try to relink everything so you can kind of get to everywhere from any account that I have. So go check that out if you want as well. And that's about it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you come back next week to see what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you a great day, great week, everyone. Bye for now.